What if you're not burned out, not hormonal, not broken? What if your body is simply exhausted, not from trauma, not from overworking, not from doing life wrong, but from noise, the kind you don't even consciously notice anymore? Right now, wherever you are, there's probably a low hum in the background, the refrigerator, the HVAC system breathing in and out, traffic in the distance, a plane overhead, a neighbor's bass vibrating faintly through the wall, the television murmuring from another room, your phone lighting up with a soft but insistent ping. Individually, none of these sounds feel dramatic. They're not loud enough to alarm you. You've learned to tune them out. But here's the part most people don't realize. You can tune something out consciously, and your nervous system can still be reacting to it. Your brain has a structure called the amygdala. Its job is threat detection. It evolved to scan the environment for unpredictable changes in sound, a snapping twig, a sudden rustle, something that might signal danger. It doesn't care whether the noise is a predator or a notification. It cares that it's unpredictable. Every ping, every revving engine, every low frequency hum that never fully stops. They register even when you don't. And when sound is constant, low level, and inescapable, the body doesn't fully power down. Cortisol stays slightly elevated. Muscles stay slightly tense. Sleep becomes slightly lighter. Over time, slightly turns into chronically. You wake up tired. You feel irritable. You struggle to focus. You think something is wrong with you. What if nothing is wrong with you? What if you're overstimulated? In this episode, we're going to explore how chronic environmental noise quietly elevates stress hormones, fragments your sleep cycles, and shapes your mood in ways most people never connect to sound. And by the end, you'll know how to create something radical in today's world, an acoustic sanctuary, a space that signals safety to your nervous system, a space where your body can finally exhale. Hello, beautiful listeners, and welcome back to Green Earth Essentials. I'm your host, Michelle Jackson. If you're new here, this podcast is all about holistic wellness rooted in both ancient wisdom and modern science. We explore plant-based living, sustainability, essential oils, natural beauty, environmental health, and practical ways to support your nervous system in a world that often feels overwhelming. My goal with every episode is simple: to help you understand how your body actually works so you can make informed, empowered choices that support long-term well-being, not just quick fixes. And today we're diving into something that rarely gets talked about in wellness spaces, an invisible environmental stressor that most people completely ignore: sound pollution. not music, not healing frequencies, not intentional sound, but the chronic low-level environmental noise that surrounds us every single day, and what it's quietly doing to your stress levels, your sleep, and your nervous system. When most people hear the phrase sound pollution, they think of something extreme, a blaring concert, jackhammers outside an apartment window, a construction site at 6 a.m. But that's not the full picture. Sound pollution isn't just loud, dramatic noise. It's chronic, low-level environmental noise that never fully stops. Traffic moving in the distance, airplanes overhead, the constant urban hum, refrigerators cycling on and off, air conditioning units, office chatter, fluorescent light buzz, notification pings, the subtle but relentless vibration of modern infrastructure. None of it feels catastrophic. That's exactly why it's powerful. Human physiology evolved in soundscapes that were rhythmic and meaningful. Wind in trees, flowing water, insects at dusk, birdsong at dawn. Even sudden sounds had context. A snapped twig meant something specific and required a brief, focused response. Modern soundscapes are different. They are mechanical, unpredictable, layered, continuous, and most importantly, inescapable. There is growing evidence that this matters. The World Health Organization has identified environmental noise as a significant public health issue, linking chronic exposure to stress-related health outcomes, sleep disturbance, and even cardiovascular strain. This isn't about annoyance, it's about physiology. Your body does not interpret chronic environmental noise as background. It interprets unpredictability as potential danger. And when the nervous system never fully settles, that subtle activation becomes the baseline. Sound pollution is not always loud. It's constant. And constant stimulation is still stimulation. Let's zoom in on what's actually happening inside your body. Deep in the brain, there's a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. Think of it as your internal alarm system. Its job is to constantly scan your environment for anything unpredictable or potentially dangerous. Sound is one of its favorite data streams. From an evolutionary perspective, sudden or irregular noise often meant something important: a predator, a falling branch, movement in the dark. So the amygdala became exquisitely sensitive to changes in sound patterns. Here's the catch: it does not distinguish between a rustling bush and a car alarm. When the amygdala detects unpredictable noise, it activates the sympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for fight or flight. Your heart rate suddenly increases, muscles tighten, breathing shifts. The adrenal glands release cortisol and adrenaline. Cortisol isn't evil, it's useful. It mobilizes energy. it sharpens focus, but it's meant to spike briefly and then fall. When sound is constant and irregular, traffic surges, notification pings, doors slamming, engines revving, the nervous system receives repeated microactivations, tiny alerts, over and over. The result? Cortisol stays slightly elevated. Another marker shifts too: heart rate variability, or HRV. HRV measures the subtle variation between heartbeats and is a sign of nervous system flexibility. Higher HRV generally reflects resilience and recovery. Chronic stress lowers it. Persistent environmental noise has been associated with reductions in HRV, meaning the body stays in a more rigid, defensive state. Now, here's the part that confuses people. You might say, but I don't even notice the traffic anymore. That's habituation. Your conscious mind has filtered it out. But habituation does not equal physiological neutrality. Your awareness can adapt. Your nervous system still registers unpredictability. The body is ancient. It responds to patterns, not opinions. And when those patterns signal instability, even subtly, the stress response hums along in the background, not loud enough to panic you, just steady enough to wear you down. Here's where this becomes personal. You can tolerate a lot during the day. Caffeine helps, adrenaline helps, momentum helps. But sleep is where the bill comes due. At night, your brain cycles through different sleep stages. One of the most important is called slow wave sleep. This is your deepest, most restorative sleep phase. Think of it as nightly repair mode. During slow wave sleep, brain waves become large and slow. The body releases growth hormone. Cells repair. The immune system recalibrates. The brain clears metabolic waste through a process sometimes described as a kind of neurological housekeeping. This is when you rebuild. Noise disrupts that process. Even if a sound doesn't fully wake you up, it can cause what researchers call microarousals. These are tiny shifts toward lighter sleep. You don't remember them. You don't sit up in bed, but your brain briefly exits deep sleep. Traffic passing, a motorcycle accelerating, a door closing, HVAC kicking on, a notification buzz on the nightstand. Each one can fragment slow wave sleep. The result isn't dramatic, it's cumulative. You wake up feeling like you slept, but not deeply. Your thinking feels cloudy. That's brain fog. Your patience feels thinner. That's irritability. Over time, chronic sleep fragmentation is associated with increased inflammation and disrupted hormonal rhythms, including cortisol and insulin regulation. The body depends on uninterrupted cycles to repair itself properly. Even subtle nighttime noise can prevent you from spending enough time in those deeper stages. And because you are technically asleep, you don't suspect sound, you suspect yourself. But sometimes the problem isn't that you're bad at sleeping, it's that your environment isn't letting your nervous system fully power down. Now let's move from traffic and appliances to something far more intimate: your phone. Digital noise may be the most underestimated stressor of all because we invite it in. We carry it. We sleep next to it. We strap it to our wrists. Every notification ping is a tiny interruption, a small, sharp shift in attention. And remember what we just talked about. The brain is wired to respond to unpredictable sound. That ping is not neutral. When your phone dings, buzzes, or lights up, your amygdala registers change. Your body prepares to respond. There's a brief sympathetic activation, a micro stress spike. Heart rate nudges upward, muscles tighten just slightly. At the same time, there's often a dopamine release. Dopamine is the brain's anticipation molecule. It fuels curiosity and reward seeking. What is it? Who is it? Is it good news? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's spam. But your brain doesn't know that in advance. So you get a dopamine spike followed by a drop, and then another ping, another spike, another drop. Over hours and days, this creates a rhythm of stimulation and depletion, a nervous system that never quite settles. Worse, constant alerts condition hypervigilance. You begin to anticipate interruption. Even in silence, part of your brain is waiting, listening, scanning. That's low-grade fight or flight, not panic, not meltdown, just a steady hum of readiness. And when readiness becomes the baseline, relaxation feels foreign, stillness feels uncomfortable, silence feels suspicious. Digital noise trains your body to expect disruption. It's not just about screen time, it's about sound time. And if you've ever felt inexplicably tense, easily startled, or mentally scattered by the end of the day, consider this possibility. Your body isn't failing you, it's responding exactly as it was designed to respond, to a world that never stops pinging. Now let's talk about the people who feel this more intensely. If you've ever found yourself irrationally irritated by chewing sounds, fluorescent buzzing, repetitive tapping, or overlapping conversations, you're not dramatic. If you struggle to focus when there's background noise, you're not broken. If you feel completely drained after being in loud or chaotic environments, that's information. Some nervous systems are simply more sensitive to sensory input. This can overlap with ADHD traits, sensory processing differences, trauma history, or just being highly perceptive. When the filtering system in the brain is less efficient at tuning out background stimuli, everything comes through at higher volume. Chronic sound exposure in that context isn't neutral, it's cumulative. Imagine trying to concentrate while someone lightly taps your shoulder every few seconds. That's what unpredictable sound can feel like to a sensitive nervous system. It fragments attention. It increases mental fatigue. It raises baseline stress. Over time, this can amplify overwhelm. Decision fatigue increases. Emotional regulation becomes harder. Small frustrations feel bigger than they should. But here's the reframe. Sensitivity is not weakness. It is nervous system intelligence. A sensitive system is often deeply attuned. It notices nuance. It detects subtle shifts. It can read environments quickly. That's adaptive. That's sophisticated wiring. The problem isn't the wiring. The problem is the environment. When a perceptive nervous system lives in a chronically noisy world, it works overtime. And overtime without recovery leads to exhaustion. So, if you've ever felt like the world is just too loud, that experience deserves validation. It may not be fragility. It may be your nervous system accurately reporting overload. And once you understand that, the goal shifts. You stop trying to toughen yourself up. You start designing environments that respect how your brain is built. Now we shift from awareness to agency. If sound can dysregulate the nervous system, it can also regulate it. The key is intention. Think of this as sonic hygiene. You already practice forms of hygiene every day. You filter your water. You choose your skincare carefully. You think about ingredients. Sound deserves that same level of discernment, not perfection, just intention. Start small. Notification batching is powerful. Instead of allowing your phone to interrupt you all day, set specific times to check messages. Turn off non-essential alerts. Remove sound from social media notifications. Let your nervous system experience uninterrupted stretches of time. Sound-free mornings are another simple shift. The first 30 to 60 minutes after waking set the tone for your cortisol rhythm. Try no news, no scrolling, no background TV. Let your brain move from sleep to wakefulness without digital intrusion. Then there's the difference between white noise and pink noise. White noise contains equal intensity across frequencies and can sound sharp or static-like. Pink noise distributes more power in lower frequencies, mimicking natural patterns like rainfall or wind. Some research suggests pink noise may better support deeper sleep because it feels more biologically familiar. Nature's soundscapes are ancient regulation tools. Ocean waves, rustling leaves, gentle rain. These are predictable rhythmic sounds. The nervous system reads rhythm as safety. Physical dampering matters too. Rugs, heavy curtains, upholstered furniture, and even houseplants absorb and soften sound. Hard surfaces reflect it. You don't need to remodel your home. Even one room designed with softer acoustics can shift how your body feels inside it. Try an evening sound audit. Before bed, pause and listen. What's humming? What's buzzing? What can be turned off, moved, or silenced? Small reductions can protect slow wave sleep. And here's where your existing wellness practices can layer beautifully. Pair calming essential oils like clary sage or vetiver with a steady, familiar sound cue, perhaps pink noise or soft rainfall. Over time, the brain begins associating that combination with safety. You're creating a conditioned relaxation response. None of this requires extreme measures. You don't need a cabin in the woods. You need pockets of real quiet. An acoustic sanctuary is simply a space, even a small one, where your nervous system is allowed to downshift, where sound supports you instead of subtly activating you. Small changes repeated consistently. That's how you reclaim your internal volume control. There's a profound difference between noise and sound. Noise is chaotic, irregular, intrusive. Sound can be rhythmic, intentional, regulating. Your nervous system doesn't just react to volume, it reacts to pattern. Nature runs on pattern. Ocean waves roll in steady intervals. Wind moves through trees in soft, layered currents. Rain falls with textured consistency. Even insects at dusk create repeating acoustic rhythms. These sounds are complex, but they're not erratic. The brain recognizes predictability as safety. That's why intentional soundscapes can be so powerful. Soft rainfall tracks, ocean waves, low frequency ambient tones, even gentle instrumental music with slow tempos. When used intentionally, these sounds can entrain the nervous system, meaning your internal rhythm begins to synchronize with external ones. Heart rate slows, breathing deepens, muscles release. Now let's talk about something even more radical: silence. In a world saturated with stimulation, silence can feel unfamiliar, sometimes even uncomfortable at first. That discomfort is revealing. It shows how rarely the nervous system experiences true absence of input. Emerging research in animal models has suggested that periods of silence may support neural restoration, possibly even stimulating activity in areas of the brain associated with memory and learning, like the hippocampus. This is still being explored. It's not settled science, but the early signals are intriguing. Even without definitive conclusions, we know this: silence reduces incoming sensory load, and when sensory load drops, the brain reallocates energy toward repair, integration, and regulation. Silence is not empty, it's spacious. And reclaiming quiet in a culture that equates constant stimulation with productivity is a radical act of self-care. It's a way of saying your nervous system deserves recovery. You don't need to eliminate sound entirely. You need contrast, intentional sound, intentional quiet, rhythms that support your biology instead of competing with it. In that space, the body remembers how to settle. We curate our food, we read labels, we question sourcing, we think about nutrients and long-term impact, we curate our skincare, we learn about ingredients, we protect our skin barrier, we choose what supports our biology, but we rarely curate what enters our ears, and sound goes straight to the nervous system. It shapes cortisol. It shapes sleep. It shapes mood. It shapes how safe your body feels inside your own home. So here's your invitation. For the next 24 hours, do a sound audit. Not to judge, not to overhaul your life overnight, just to notice what wakes you up, what hums all day, what pings unexpectedly, what feels soothing, what feels draining. You may be surprised by what you discover. Awareness changes behavior naturally. Once you hear your environment clearly, you'll start adjusting it almost instinctively. A silence notification, a softer evening routine, a deliberate pocket of quiet before bed. Your nervous system doesn't need perfection. It needs contrast. It needs rhythm. It needs moments of true quiet. And in a culture built on constant stimulation, reclaiming silence is powerful. It is steady. It is intentional. If this conversation resonated with you and you'd like deeper reflections, behind the scenes thoughts, and companion resources connected to this episode, I'd love to continue it with you. You can follow me on Substack at substack.com/at Green Earth Essentials. Thank you for being here. Your nervous system is not fragile. It is intelligent. And you are allowed to design a life that feels calmer, clearer, and more grounded, even in a noisy world. Until next time, this is Michelle Jackson signing off.